Welcome back, Luminary. This is star-powered Astrology for Changemakers, and today we're sitting with the full moon in Sagittarius on May 31st, a blue moon, the second full moon of the month, and the closing note on a big chapter. Here's what I want you to know going in. Sagittarius always asks the deeper question, not just what is happening, but why. And under this full moon, that question turns towards the Gemini beliefs that have been quietly running you. The ones whether your voice matters, whether it's safe to be seen, heard, and understood, whether your dreams of sharing your voice, writing, speaking, are allowed to be yours. I'm joined for this one by my friend Jackie McDonald of the Wild Wealthy Woman. And together we're pairing the astrology with EFT tapping, a simple somatic practice for moving an old belief out of your body to bring a new belief in. So this episode is part teaching, part hands-on, so come ready to do the work with us. Because most of the beliefs we have were never ours to begin with, you likely inherited them from your family, from culture, from a world that handed you a story before you could even choose one. That's why this full moon is your invitation to set down that story, to let it go, and to step into the one that actually belongs to the change maker you are already becoming. That reclaiming is the whole heart of my book, Astrology for Changemakers, already available for pre-order from Wiser Books, available at your favorite bookseller. If this episode lands for you, why don't you pre-order it now? Pre-orders are the single most important thing for a first-time, traditionally published author. They tell bookstores to stock it. They tell publishers this book matters. And there are tiered bonuses depending on how many copies you pick up for yourself, for your team, or for your community. When you pre-order, you'll unlock a set of pre-order bonuses, early sample chapters and cut charts in the author's cut, a printable toolkit on pub day, and a seat at the live virtual launch ceremony. Visit starpowered.com/changemakers to pre-order and submit your receipt for those bonuses. All right, now let's dive in for this Sagittarius full moon. Welcome back, Star Powered family. And if you're new here, aloha and welcome. I'm Leslie Tagorda, Hawaii born astrologer, author of the upcoming book, Astrology for Changemakers, coming out in September 2026, and creator of the Astrobrand Method. I light the path for visionaries, healers, and changemakers like you to attune to your strengths, purpose, and power written in your stars. If astrology, leadership, and real change through an uncolonized lens are your jam, click subscribe and let's dive in.
We are excited to share with you today all about the full moon on, what's the date again?
May 31st, a blue moon.
Blue moon. Leslie, tell us, what can we expect on this upcoming full moon?
Yeah, so on May 31st, we closed the month of May with our second full moon this month. We opened up with a full moon in Scorpio on May 1st, on May Day. And now we're closing it off with a full moon in expansive Sagittarius.
Ooh, expansive. I like that word. So it's not
Yes.
too intense. What are we?
Well, a full moon, generally, our emotions are up leveled because the sun and the moon are opposing each other in the sky. So, generally, full moons are intense, but they're not going to be anywhere near as intense as the last full moon in Scorpio that we had. That was an intense one.
There was some energy around that one. I felt that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Okay. So Sagittarius is a little more expansive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we have our Sagittarius full moon every time we're in Gemini season. And so Gemini and Sagittarius, they live opposite of the sky together. And during a full moon, they highlight this idea of ideas, that's Gemini, and ideals, the philosophy and like kind of ethics. And so Sagittarius is really big picture. Sagittarius wants to know why we're doing this, wants to know the meaning of this, wants to know what's the purpose. That's all of the ideals. And so at this time, I would say this full moon is really good at analyzing if we have any limiting beliefs that are still holding us back from our dreams.
Okay, so this will be a big tapping session this full moon. If we're
Yeah.
looking at what are the limiting beliefs, what are the stories that are holding you back from your dreams? And you
Yeah.
said something about the kind of why behind it. Like why am I still holding on to this?
Yeah.
A little going a little deeper into it than you normally would.
Yeah, absolutely. When I think about Sagittarius, the why, the purpose behind it, Sagittarius is one of those archetypes that is tied to higher learning, far distance travel, and also religion, man made religion. Okay. And so, like all the aspects of religion. And so, religion as a whole, and even like universities, these were places that we would go to for higher learning, right? We would go to the temples, we would go to the churches before we had universities for to go for our extended learning. And so, there's this philosophical ideas that get woven into our fabric based on what our beliefs are. Now, some of us outgrow the beliefs that we had from like when we were children or from our families, and we have to replace them with new beliefs that are going to serve where we want to go. Again, working with my therapist earlier today, and we were talking we went all the way back to childhood again. I was like, oh my gosh, do I have to go back to childhood again? I was like, I've done this before. She's like, well, it sounds like the beliefs that your mom gave you are still operating. And I'm like, oh dang, yes.
So that's normal. If you're feeling that right now, like again, I've already people say that a lot in tapping. If they've never tapped with me before, especially, they're like, well, I've worked on that.
Oh
I've done
yeah.
work on that. Right. Like I've just, yeah. And I'm like, totally got it. Yes. And as soon as we start tapping, it's usually whoop, right to the top. It's like it's this thing, and sometimes it's just a different angle. Like when we're doing tapping, we're looking at it very much so from a somatic perspective.
Yeah.
So maybe you've mentally processed it, but maybe your body hasn't fully processed it. And so looking at that on this full moon, like, yeah, maybe there is a limiting belief that's come up again. The truth is, I don't think they ever go away. We can shift through them quicker. And
Yes.
the cool thing about doing that is when you look at that belief, on the other side of it is a new one. And with the tapping is just as much as we're releasing, we are receiving the new one by looking at it. So, okay, whatever the belief is that's stopping me right now, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at why it's here. But what's the other belief on the other side? And we can do a tapping process to reinforce the new one. So I'm really
Yes.
curious what everyone's belief is right now that they're working through and what's the opposite? What's the opposite of that story? Because that's what you're
Yes.
going to want to practice re-imprinting, re-tapping into.
And like I think that is, you sound like my therapist saying the same things. Like I worked through this before. She's like, it lives in your body. You're never gonna fully get through it, like, but you're gonna move through it faster. Okay. But the reason why it came up, that old belief, is because I was running into a challenge. I was feeling really stuck. And so if any of us are feeling like we're running up into challenges right now, we have to like dig deep. And this full moon is perfect for that, to see what are still like those old beliefs, those limiting beliefs that are still operating in us, because it's time to be re-examined again. And those old beliefs can come from your parents. That's like ultimately where they come from,
Pretty much everything is back to them. Yep.
right? Even if you think that you've outgrown it and you're like, no, I made different decisions. No, those operating beliefs are still there. They can come from like your culture, they can come from your society, they can come from your family, they can come from like your different communities. And so, like, this is a really good time, like, especially if you're feeling like stuck or like at a pivot point in terms of like your purpose, like your calling, what you're here to do. This is a really good time to look at some of your belief systems and, like you said, turn them around so that we can expand them, because that Sagittarius absolutely wants us to expand through those beliefs.
Yeah, I mean I always say release to receive. It's right on the other side. And I also say I believe that resistance is a roadmap. So when people come to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm stuck on this thing or I'm overwhelmed or so frustrated." I'm like, "Ooh, we're about to like we you just gave me the key to your next level because that resistance is all I need to get in and through to the other side." And so whenever I'm feeling that way, instead of being like, "Oh, here we go again," I'm like, "Ooh, I just got handed the key to my next level."
Yes.
Is this resistance is the little thread of information you need to unlock the next door to the next level. And it doesn't have to take a long time. That's the cool thing about tapping is it we can do it in one session. We can do it in 20 minutes. Doesn't have to
Oh,
be a big deal. Doesn't have to be a big drama thing of like, oh, no, we can move through it quickly
you
and you
mean
will be on that other side.
I don't have to process my entire childhood again, Jackie?
No, I tell people this all the time. Come tap with me. Like, we can do it so much more efficiently. And there is a space and a place for everything, all types of healing. So I just want to reiterate, sometimes people are resistant to look at it. But with the right tools, it doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to take a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love what you're talking about that when your clients give you what they're resistant to, right? They're literally giving you the key. And when I see for my clients the same thing, right? But like they're maybe not talking about the resistance. The resistance is sometimes a fear for them. They're afraid of it, right?
Yes.
And so I was like, your fear is actually a gift. It's telling you what you truly desire.
It's like, look over here. It's like waving a little flag, like, well,
Right.
if you look at this, you're gonna get some information. But you're right, it can sometimes there is fear.
Yeah.
And yeah, we don't want to always like sign up to do that work all the
Right.
time.
Not all the time. Sometimes I just want to relax.
Yeah. But that's why following the moons are so important. Because if you
So important.
follow the moon and what it's asking you to do, you do have less resistance, you do have less fear in your
Yeah.
regular life. I said this to you, Leslie. I've been following your advice and just doing the practices. And I cannot even explain to you how, the things that have happened in my life this month. I am like holy moly receiving mode. But there were moments of having like honestly like 2 weeks of like, okay, I gotta look and I gotta go deep.
Yeah.
And I did, and out and it didn't take long out the other side, expansion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the astrology and the tapping, it forces us to slow down, right? It forces, well, not force in a bad way, but invites us to slow down. And it's like when we slow down and we can observe instead of running away or bypassing the thing, that's when the change can happen. That's when we can really receive what we desire because we've taken the time to slow down and say, oh, that's the thing I was missing.
And it's such a simple question. I feel like the moon is just saying like, "Hey, what's going on with you right now?" Right? And we're
Yes.
like, normally we've got kids, we got work, we got all these things, but it's like, yeah, that's what the moon's inviting you to ultimately ask, what's going on with me? And then with what you're saying, it's like the universe is saying, I'd recommend working on this right now.
Exact. It's our cosmic timer, right? It's a reminder. It says, okay, it's time to do this now. It's time to do this now.
I love that. It's our cosmic timer. Because you're right. Like each moon and each month is so different, but
Yeah,
needed. We need to do it once a year.
we need to do it.
Yeah.
And so if you listen to our new moon tapping session, we were talking about new moons are time for intentions, where we're planting the seeds. Well, full moons now are times for pruning. And this is why we're looking at those limiting beliefs so we can say, snip, snip.
Clean it up. I was just thinking as you were saying that one of my favorite tapping lines when you're transitioning from an old belief to a new belief is you take the old belief, say it's like whatever, I'm not good enough, and you
Mm,
just insert in your tapping the statement, I forgive myself for believing, fill in the blank. So I forgive myself for believing I'm not good enough.
mm.
That will bridge your subconscious into the new belief. So it's like the three stages in tapping, there's the venting stage, sort of the releasing stage, and then the affirmation stage. That wording, I forgive myself for believing I'm not enough. I forgive myself for believing it takes a long time for me to be successful, or I forgive myself for believing that it's not safe to be visible. Repeating that statement a few times in your tapping will calm the system down, and then you can start saying the new affirmation. I do feel like I'm enough now. I am enough now. It is safe for me to be seen. Things do happen for me quite quickly. So that's just something that I would recommend, and we can do that on the full moon tapping as well. But that bridge affirmation, because sometimes it can be intense when these limiting beliefs are coming up and you're like, God, I just need to let it go. I forgive myself for believing this for so long.
Yeah.
I'm ready to let it go. Can help make that transition smoother.
Oh my gosh, you're reading my mind. Were you at my therapy session today? No.
We're just connected. We're
I
just tuned in.
know. That's brilliant. That like that forgiveness, like I could sense in my nervous system just like, ah,
Yeah.
right. And it's also like it's shifting the narrative of like believing that there's something inherently wrong with you. And you're like, no, no, no. Like that's a whole that's the underlying story.
That's it. And I also, some of the language I like to say is like, even though old me believed this, who I am now doesn't need to believe this anymore.
Mm.
And who I'm stepping into, the woman I'm becoming, she believes something totally different. She holds herself with certainty, with worth, with value, with high standards, with whatever. And that sometimes can be a visual. You're like, yeah, I forgive myself in the past that I believe that. That's not who I am anymore. I don't identify with that belief anymore. This is the new belief that is coming in. And spend just as much time tapping out the old, spend tapping in the new.
Yeah, especially for a full moon, it's like this is about releasing all of the old stuff because on a full moon, you can see it so much more clearly. The light of the moon is bright, you can see in the dark.
I love it's like a flashlight on the shadow.
Totally. Oh, this is so good, Jackie.
You know, I love when we do these. And so if you're listening and you're loving this, we just would love it if you shared it because you never know by sharing with even three friends who needed to hear it and the conversations you can start with one another, right? Like you can share with your best friend, this is what I'm releasing. This is what I had to forgive myself for. And this is the new thing I'm willing to believe about myself. Just having the conversation starter can help you feel witnessed. And this is why we're here. So if you're loving these conversations, we'd love it if you shared it.
Definitely share this. And you bring up a really good point, Jackie, because the sun again is in Gemini. And so Gemini is literally sharing it with your friends.
What is happening? We're just tuned in.
It's cross pollination, right? Because like we're sharing these ideas and then new ideas are blooming. And that's exactly what the Gemini needs. And like that's the perfect medicine for the Sagittarius full moon.
Well, I love how connected we are. I don't even know why I said that. I was just like, it came to me like, you should probably, there's probably someone in your network right now that's like suffering and doesn't need to be. And then they hear this and they're like, thank you. This is what I needed. And then they find the magic of Leslie or my work and their life has changed. So
So good.
thank you.
This is going to be a beautiful full moon. And it's just, we get these cosmic timers and these invitations because it's literally laying out the energy. It's like we're just on this pathway and we can be in that flow as we work with these different lunations.
Well, I'm so excited to dive in this week to tap with everyone. And I know that you have an amazing community of change makers that you work with as well. Can you share with everyone a little bit about how they can connect more with you and learn all of your wisdom and experience you?
Oh, thank you, Jackie. One of the best places to get in touch with me is my Instagram. That's probably where I spend the most time. My Instagram is B Star Powered, and I have a community of astro loving change makers, meaning entrepreneurs and leaders, and people just want to make the world a better place. And so I have Star Powered Circle, and we love everybody. And actually, Jackie, I have to get you in my community sometime soon because you have so much wisdom to share with them.
Vice versa. You need to be coming into the Wildly Wealthy Woman experience. I actually have coming up this month, so starting June 1st, we have the 21 days of tapping prayer and affirmations.
Oh,
And
yes.
it's if you love the 21 days of tapping and affirmations, it's very similar. It's a little more on the spiritual side because we do a prayer before we tap. And I did it last year when I was in a season of grief, and I was really afraid to share it because I didn't know how people would receive prayer.
Yeah.
And it ended up being everyone's favorite. So I'm bringing
Yeah.
it back. We're running it again. It's $21 for 21 days. If you're new to me, it's a great place to start. And that's what we have going on.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I will definitely share that with my community because prayer, affirmation, it's the same, right? It's just being able to speak your desires and letting the universe help you.
That's it. And connecting, right? Connecting to that your higher self, to God, to spirit, universe, and
Yes.
starting your day that way. I mean, magic happens. So
Oh,
that's the
magic is
intention.
just waiting for us.
Yes. Anything else before we sign off about the full moon?
This is just a really beautiful one. If you want, to double down on what Jackie was saying about call a friend and share this would be a really good full moon to spend time with your friends and do these exercises together.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an invitation. Call your friends, send them the podcast, say we're hanging out tonight or we're hanging out in the
We're
full
doing
moon.
this.
Do it. I love you, Leslie.
Love
Thank you so
you.
much for sharing all your wisdom. And everyone, make sure you're listening, following, participating in what Leslie has coming. She has an incredible book coming out. We're very excited about it. So we're going to be buying, sharing, doing all the things. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. All
Yeah.
right. Bye,
Bye for
everyone.
now.
So, thank you again. If this episode, if this podcast has touched your heart, please share it with others. Please leave me a rating and review so we can reach the hearts of even more change makers like you.